Welcome, Will and Joe, to the SalesChange Podcast. How are you guys?
Thank you for having us. Well excited about this.
Tell me about the St. James Studio.
Oh, so we are a communications agency. Is kind of the wider catch-all.
This is Will.
This is Will. So I'm Will. And yeah, so me and Joe. We need to start that again. I don't know what we're going to say.
That's right. Basically, it's a communications agency. Will's been running the business for the last 3 years, 3.5 years.
So it'll be 3 years this August, actually. August 24th. Not that I'm counting. But
24th.
yeah.
And I've recently joined.
March.
I joined in March.
What a time to join, may I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about timing. So yeah, I've joined basically help Will and to hopefully build a platform for us to grow. That was the plan 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is the plan. The plan has not changed. Just the world outside of said plan has dramatically.
Is it affecting you guys much?
So I was saying
Let's remain topical.
Yeah, I mean, basically up until literally this Monday, it hadn't bothered us at all. And I thought I was quite cautiously optimistic about it all. And I think that like the last couple of days, it's been, as it kind of has for everyone around us, really, we've started to worry. But I think we're still very much, we know what we're here to do. We've got a job to be getting on with. So we're just focused on that, really. And, we are actually still winning work, which is, hopefully a testament to the service we do. But
what makes St. James Studio to different? Let me start that question again. What makes St. James Studio different to all the other companies that are in the same arena?
Oh God, that's a good question.
This interview is going to be loaded with good questions.
Oh my
I'm loving
Lord.
this.
I feel like I should have prepped.
I feel like I'll leave with a better understanding of my business now.
Yeah.
I guess really it's.
Why did you start it, Will? Because that's probably the exact thing
wow.
that you've created now, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean the reason I started it was a kind of mix of things. It was just I'm a bad employee. I like to just kind of dabble in new ideas, try new things.
Because I read online that you've had a dabble in 9 different businesses. Was it?
I've had a few. Yeah, I kind of come up with these ideas and go, do you know what, I'm just going to have a go. Just try it out.
A serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. Do you know, I'd never call myself that. But I guess, I've done a few things. I guess so obviously I do SJS or St. James Studio now. In the past, I've had T-shirt brands, which was quite good fun. I had a really cool little clothing brand, which I started when I was 16, actually, and ran it for 2 years. That was quite successful. And yeah, kind of folded it shortly thereafter because it was very capital intensive. Basically, I just couldn't sustain it at that age. And then I also did a record label. So my claim to fame is... Yep. I did a record label. My claim to fame is that we actually signed a track which featured Shaggy, the rapper.
Football is my life.
Football is my life. If you want to listen to some Euro... It's a very Euro style song, but
I'll add a link
World
to
Cup
the
tribute.
podcast website. I'll add a link.
It
to
might
the
not do
podcast
you any
episode.
favours.
It's a great tune, to be fair.
Yeah, after a while it starts to get a little bit catchy, I won't lie. But
It's
it
one
was
of those
really
songs
cool.
that you will start singing it for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
100%.
really. And if you're a big football fan, all over that. But the cool thing was, we actually sold 44,500 copies, which was insane. So yeah, and basically my business partner at the time, his father was a fairly well-known musician. I won't name names, but he really helped mentor us and kind of guide the business in the right direction, gave us so much advice, and I learned so much about the industry, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. But essentially the common thread between all of those things that I tried, like I say, since I was 15, was that I wouldn't say the business has failed, because I'd always learned stuff and I always took some really valuable insight away from each one, but they always kind of perhaps didn't go as far as they could do just due to my lack of knowledge on marketing. So it's quite interesting to see that over the last sort of 7 years on from that, I've kind of landed in this position where, having identified that was a common problem between them all, I've really invested in just getting a career in marketing, working my way through the ranks, from just being a sort of marketing exec through to marketing manager, and then worked with the last company I worked for. I was sort of managing their content globally, which was quite exciting. And yeah, then obviously I started SJS 3 years ago. So
what was the vision? What was the vision back then?
I mean, for me, I was
feel free to pip in, Joe, because I think this is just like a let's interview Will.
Yeah. I'm Joe, by the way. I'm behind the scenes.
Absolutely, but it really, like, I guess the main driver for me was that I always wanted to kind of, I love creativity, and that sort of maybe sounds a bit cliche to say, but I just love making content and, playing with new ideas and sort of experimenting that way. But the main driver was I was actually in my last job, I was working with another agency. And in fact, actually, I cannot say that because it's so public who it was. But basically, they shafted the company I was working for. So I was like, I can do this better. But what's the public story here?
For you, Will, it was all about just delivering, as per the promised.
You
promised something, now deliver it, because you've had experience in the past working with different agencies that perhaps promised something but didn't deliver it, or were very...
See, I've worked primarily in the construction industry, and the construction industry is very cutthroat.
Yeah.
In that, if you don't screw a screw in properly, or let's say flush a pipe properly, you're not going to get paid.
Sure.
And you
Yeah.
have to prove every single inch of what you've carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same in the creative industry?
Yes, I think really. Certainly when I first started out, there was a lot of... I was just aware of a lot of agencies that weren't perhaps giving the clients the value they really deserved. And, I think they would sort of sell one thing, deliver another. And quite often, actually, there's no reason from my perspective why this ever should be the case. But, you pay £100,000 for a website, but you get it a year and a half late. I'm just like, I can't... I would be in pieces if that was like my business and I saw that happening. So I think one thing we're really good at particularly, and and our clients really sort of like about us, I guess, is that we're really reliable. If we say we're going to do something, we do it. Irrespective of what the impact is. We just want to make sure that clients are getting what they deserve. Quality of the work's really high, and I think one thing that I suppose the feedback we get from our clients is we're just really human. We're not this sort of big corporate machine. We're not trying to be something we're not. It's you pick up the phone to myself or Joe, and you have a great conversation. And a lot of our clients, they're kind of our friends, really, which is quite nice.
Who does what at St James?
So we're basically both. So we both blend our roles quite well together. But so Joe, you basically kind of steer the ship. You're the...
Yeah, so I've been involved with St James Studio for since it started. So I've helped Will from day one with a lot of the sort of numbers side of it. Even coming down to some of the proposals for clients.
Gosh, yeah, he
some
really
client comms.
helped. Yeah.
So I know the business already, which is great. But on a day-to-day basis, I mean, I'm in week 2 now. Is it week 2 or 3?
Good question. I'm going to say week 2. Yeah,
It's week 3.
Week 3.
Week 3.
Actually.
Yeah, it's week 3. Yeah. So I'm very new to it in terms of like the day-to-day stuff. But a lot of what I'm doing is like sending contracts, reviewing.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, actually, to kind of the way that we, when we're sort of working on any project, Joe has got such an amazing business background. He's really good with like strategic thinking. He's obviously great with accounts, being formerly an accountant as well. But so he really provides that business backbone to the business. Whereas for me, I'm solely creative. I can run a business. I have done up until the point Joe fully came on board. But actually, his strengths in that area is so much better than mine. So I kind of. He gives me the freedom to actually just invest more in where I'm really good at and can add the value, which is creative, marketing, strategy, all that sort of thing. So, but the good thing is we both blend really well on each other's roles.
How did you two meet? Because you're clearly friends.
Yeah.
So
about 4 years ago, friend of a friend.
Is there a story behind it? Because there's a story on how I met my best friend.
Oh, okay, nice.
Like honestly, it was so random, wasn't it? Because we, like you say, we were just going to go meet a friend for lunch, and we did. And I was only meeting him, or so I thought.
And I was only meeting him, so I thought as well.
Yeah, he was just like whatever he was thinking in his mind.
Blind date.
Yeah,
literally. I think we both got a text like 5 minutes before, didn't we? Like, oh, by the way, Will, on his case, Joe or whatever, is joining. Do you mind? And I was like, no, that's fine. Didn't expect for us to, kind of have the great vibe that we do.
Well, that same day, so we went out for lunch, Chicken Blues, great establishment. Love that place.
It's definitely tasty.
Went there, and then I was like, guys, what are you up to for the rest of the evening? I think it was a Friday. And they're like, not a lot, really. Do you want to do something? I was like, yeah, come round. We'll have a few beers. And literally, Will and I were chatting until like 4 a.m, just having like...
It was weird, just having a good old DMC.
Yeah. And by the end of that day, we knew everything. And we're like really good mates from that point on. So
it's a very similar story to how I met my best friend. My best friend, we used to always congregate at this pub. It's no longer there. It's called the Bellevue in Leon-Solent near Portsmouth. And we were all congregating, loads of friends. I'd never met this chap, Lee, before. And I rocked up, and it was about 10 o'clock. We'd all had a few beers, and somebody had ordered chicken balls with a sweet and sour sauce.
Nice.
And I was this kind of gregarious person. You wouldn't believe it, but I think I rocked up saying, "Hi, I'm Matt. I'm the life of soul of every party. What do you want me to do?" So he said, "Down this sweet and sour sauce." So I did, and then we've been best friends ever since.
Wow!
And have you had sweet and sour sauce ever since?
I think we used to drive his Nissan Micro, which was nicknamed Scratchy. This is back in the late 90s.
Was it slightly battered by chance?
Yes, very. So we've had some crazy escapades. Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? How you meet.
It's a very strange story, but I saved his life as well. He had a cardiac arrest in front of me.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
wow.
And I kept him alive for 45 minutes until the ambulance arrived, and then, yeah, he's still alive today. He's got a little box in his chest.
Oh, wow, okay.
The most insane story. Wow.
Good man.
Wow. Crazy story.
I would not know what to do if that happened to Will. I'd be like, yes, the business is mine.
Now what do I do?
Finally, some peace and quiet. Yeah. But no, it sounds like you've got such a great relationship with your friend there, and I think actually, I imagine you've probably gone like mad adventures and all these kind of things as well.
Not so much now because we're older and we've got
Fine.
children and wives.
Yeah, adulting like a boss. Yeah,
I think that is key, isn't it? To while you are working in a sort of potentially pressured environment with the work, it's going to be full on, especially now with everything that's going on. So,
what struggles do you see coming down the hill apart from coronavirus?
Well, I think that's probably really the biggest one for us right now, isn't it? But
I think we need to look at it as it sounds perhaps a bit too optimistic, but have to look at the positives. And whilst there is a lot of negatives out there, we just have to, just use the time if we do gain any more time out of the back end of this, just to see what we can do and just keep positive and keep going. So
let's imagine we're 2 or 3 months down the line, the coronavirus pandemic has sort of gone away.
Yeah,
where do you see
lovely.
That'd be very nice. Where do you see the business going? What's the vision?
So I'm actually quite excited because we had obviously a pretty serious chat about it all earlier in the week, and sort of building on from what you were saying there about actually there is actually a lot of opportunity. So we're kind of using, maybe not that we've got a lot of downtime, but this time to reset, reshape what we're offering, how we're working, and make it a lot more of a more efficient and just a better service all round. But I think in terms of so long as we can get through this tough patch, I think actually we'll be. I've kind of lost what I was going to say.
We want growth, basically.
Yeah, we just want to grow.
Our goal is growth, providing it's not too extreme. So we want it to be sensible, not too much, not too fast, but just sustainable growth. And then just see what we can do. We'd love it if we had like a Google-style office.
That would be
offering some really cool environment for staff to come to work out. We want to be seen as the agency that people want to work with, but also come and work for.
What kind of staff do you want?
Just really cool people like you, Matt.
Yeah,
really?
Do you want to join the empire?
If you're going to save people's lives, we need you on board.
Absolutely.
But
on a serious note, obviously you two are friends and you get on really well.
Yeah.
If you were going to bring somebody in, how would you assess that?
Interesting. Well, I think so we had a sort of chat about this before, in terms of the areas of the business that we want to perhaps enhance and add more skill to. So things like development and just generally also the marketing as well, which is a huge part of what we do day to day. So someone that can really help us in forming these new ideas, helping our clients as well to think outside the box. And the great thing that we have with our clients is the relationship where no matter what the problem is that they're facing, they just come to us and go, what would you do to solve this? And we put our thinking hats on and come up with some really cool ideas, and that's actually allowed them to create a lot of impact, which is exciting. So someone that can really just assist and actually enhance that process specifically. So we're sort of monitoring it quite closely, but I think we'll probably start off with the marketing side. It's a real big thing in our business. So and then that'll evolve over to maybe some more of the tech stuff, because I think there is a real opportunity for us to actually maybe start building our own platforms that help us achieve certain things for our clients. So it's bit of both.
I think alongside the actual skills that we want that person to hopefully have, it's very much about the fit as well. So providing they get on well with us, we love a bit of banter.
Yeah.
We love it. It's constant.
It's good
throughout the whole day. It's constant. So it's a really good vibe. But we'd be looking for someone that just wants to get involved and have a good time with us. And have the same values as us. So we want.
What are those values?
Well, we want to deliver great client work constantly. We're working on a business plan at the moment, so we've got something a bit more robust. But we basically want to be delivering exceptional service to our clients, going over and above where we can.
Obviously, the honesty and the openness and the whole transparency approach that we've got. We're very honest with all of our clients. We don't hide anything, and someone that can really sort of double down in that effort as well. And just like we said before, we're so adaptable. Like, we're constantly responding to certain situations within our clients' businesses within our business, the clients' businesses, and just the wider economy as well. So just someone that can muscle on through and do a great job and have fun, because you spend so much of your time at work, right? So it's just, it would be really cool to have someone that makes that bit a lot more enjoyable, but at the same time we're still here to do what we're paid for. So
where do you see the future of the creative industry?
Very interesting. So I think there's a lot of things evolving. So from a tech point of view, it's getting a lot more technical, which is for me, I love it. I love going kind of diving into all the data and coming up with lots of mad ideas off the back of that. But I think in terms of content, it's there's going to be that push to having things that are a lot more, I don't think experiential is the right word, but things like we're having discussion before about AR and VR, how that plays a part in modern marketing, certainly from a a product side of things, experiencing that product within your home. You see
IKEA
it
are
with
big in that, aren't they?
Yeah, IKEA are absolutely nailing
Seen
that
their
right
new Sonos lamp.
Yes,
I love
yes.
it.
Cool.
I actually really like it.
I've been around the store in Southampton. They've got a little booth set up where you can.
Yeah.
I had a little part. I was on the phone to Will because I went to IKEA on my own just to grab a few things for the office, and I was FaceTiming him around the store. So I got
was
really,
funny.
Really
You've
bored.
got a signal in IKEA.
Yeah,
I know, you lucky
just
so-and-so.
hooked up to their Wi-Fi. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
And I went straight into the booth and just had a little boogie. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
There
we were
people
dancing at the
walking
other
around.
end of the phone as well. It was great.
It's so funny. It's so good. But yeah, they're really hot on it, aren't they, with the tech?
Yeah. I think I would largely expect more brands to be pushing towards that side of things.
Automation.
Automation, yeah, we're sort of largely all over that. We love a bit of automation. So, just allows us to do far more with a lot less time. So, I think, automation, AR and VR, and I think as well, brand experiences, that's such a wide catch-all phrase, but I think actually brands that are able to build really quite amazing experiences, you see it with things like Mercedes. They do really crazy events to launch their cars and get people involved, how that then obviously transforms itself onto social media and how they partner with things like influencers and things like that. So I think just making it kind of is our unofficial tagline. It's just being more human, helping people create amazing memories around brands and through their products.
I think that's key when you're trying to identify. I do it from a personal brand perspective. I like people to know that they've met me, and I'm very good at recognizing people after I've met them and putting a face to a name and then having that rapport with somebody. And then my online presence is very much the same. So I'll be able to comment on lots of people's content. I like to bring people into sort of the experience. How do you go about doing that for a brand? What's your go-to method?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I'm really hot on the whole personal brand thing. I think people buy people at the end of the day. So if you're trying to push, without trying to sound too salesy, if you're trying to push sales, it's great to have the marketing around the brand, but also for people to not forget about their the key relationships of the business, like the key directors, the key managers, because really they should be pushing their own personal brands. Exactly like you've just said, Matt. People are going to react better to having a more human, personal touch with someone as opposed to with a brand.
I think if you believe in your product, and you clearly do at St. James, you clearly believe that what you're generating is proper value. If you believe that you're generating value, why wouldn't somebody want to be on board with that? That's the key message. When you believe in sales and you're trying to push a sales process or you're trying to get a client to come on board, if you recognise that you're actually delivering value, it's the personal belief that you are delivering that value that the client brings. That the client then believes.
They have that trust in you. Don't
Exactly.
they? So,
The trust is the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I suppose with those conversations, if, let's say if it was a new client that was looking to engage with us, we can show them the numbers, and anybody can do that. But I think actually, one thing we always make a point of is that regardless of what stage meeting or who we might be meeting within a prospective client, we just go in there with loads of ideas, and we just just like we say, it's an overused phrase, but we just deliver value from the very first point of contact. We're just constantly suggesting cool things they could try out, and just helping them kind of break through any challenges they're having, and then we show them the numbers, and they're like, oh, okay, you've done some good stuff, and it's but I think ultimately we just lead with ourselves, really. We talk to them and just have a chat, get to know them, and then I think that trust naturally builds.
The cliche
they
phrase,
get our vibe.
You thinking outside the box. Which I hate that phrase.
Yeah,
but that's what it's all about, isn't it? You've got to always think on your toes and think.
I think there are phrases in business now which have been overused. You said it earlier. Entrepreneur is a massively overused phrase.
Thinking outside never call myself an entrepreneur. I really do. I just can't.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people don't engage with that because it does put them in a certain.
Well, I think a lot of social media stars class themselves as entrepreneurs, but actually they've just got large social media followings.
I totally agree. I see that far too often. I think that's why I'm so turned off by it, frankly. It's I'm just Will. Yeah, I have a business in the background, but I'm Will first. I'm not a agency. I'm not an entrepreneur or anything like that. I'm just Will. So I think it's and people value that, don't they? And here's another overused phrase: authenticity. But, you've just got to be. You've got to be you. There's nothing else really.
You can be authentic and still be a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
You're an authentic dick. There we go.
So with where do you see the business going in 5 years? What's the 5-year vision?
Well, we have big plans, don't we, Joe?
Yeah, we're actually working this week on our one vision. So whilst I might have a personal vision, this is where I want to be in 5 years. Will might, obviously you might have heard about his racing career. Wants to
We've got
take
some
up-
pretty wild personal life vibes.
Say that he'll have his own sort of goals in 5 years, but we're working together this week actually. I think we're doing it at some point today potentially.
Yes.
But sitting down and deciding what the one vision is for St James Studio. So we both know what that is, but it's just plotting those ideas on paper. So
Yeah.
like I said, for me, it's all about growth, and also giving other people the opportunity to get involved with what we're doing.
Absolutely.
With the staffing side. So getting a team on board that just love what they do and just want to deliver great.
So let's say you walk into your office in 5 years' time. What's it going to look like?
Remote.
Well,
Hopefully not.
It's either
Barbados.
Google's office vibes, or everyone's working from home with a cup of tea in hand. But I think we've got some, we've got those high level things kind of locked down. So we know we don't want to grow beyond 25 members of staff. Not for any. I just think anything beyond that is a bit more of it's a bit chaotic to handle and a bit too much. But I think at that level we can be really great support to everyone in our team, and also have all the capacity and the skills and the resource to just deliver great.
So you want to remain hands-on?
I think so. It's kind of a tricky one at this point because, like we say, we both have aspirations for our own personal lives, and I've mentioned sort of on various platforms I'd love to become a professional racing driver. That is something I'm really trying to push forward towards.
That's stop driving into walls, Will.
I've dinged my car a few times, but it's.
Is your car name Scratchy?
It should be.
No, it's called Denty. But yeah, no. So with that, if I was able to realise that ambition, that would be amazing. I think I still want to be hands-on because I don't see a future at the moment, at least, where I'm not involved in this business. I think it's something I can see going on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's obviously going to evolve and change shape and things like that over that period of time, but. I think I love the idea of coming into whether it's an office or whatever format we're working on in 10 years time, who knows, and just working with really great people, because I'm quite a social person, so I like to be around people all the time and, bounce off ideas. I think that format works for me. But how about you, Joe?
Yeah, I agree, to be fair. I think with a lot of small business owners, if you remove that person from the business, then the business fails.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. And I think currently...
Because it's your passion at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And without that passion, it doesn't have that drive.
Absolutely. You need to be there full focus. You kind of need the horse blinkers on to sort of have that one vision and go in that one direction. A lot of people try and do different things at once and perhaps drop the ball on their main focus, which is the business.
Yeah, so remain true to your core.
Whilst I definitely believe that our main focus is going to be on St James Studio, the more we can do to not eliminate Will from the equation, but if we can enable a business to run without
one or
perhaps
both.
us both having to be there on a constant day-to-day basis, so that we can enjoy our other passions and things we want to do.
I think that's the fundamental part of building a team in your image and being able to leave the business to function. Is massively important. And that comes down to bringing the people in that you need and trust.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, I think even at this early stage and where our business is at, certainly from my side, it's actually been quite difficult. Joe's sort of there with a crowbar saying, no, give me that job. I can take this
prizing
task.
stuff out of him. I can do this.
It's so weird because, and many people in the same position as us are probably finding it the same, which is that I've just been doing it all myself for 3 years. Obviously, Joe has continually been there in the background and so forth. But the day-to-day, it's very much just been like, right, I've got to do this, this and this. And, now I'm really enjoying actually, as we're starting to kind of get into a groove of things, like you say, we're a few weeks in, but, sharing stuff with Joe and he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll take that on. That's fine. And I'm like, oh, that's given me so much time. And it's really, and actually, as a net effect of that, I honestly feel like I'm a lot more creative. I'm a lot less stressed, and, we've got a really good momentum in the business at the moment.
That's one of my fundamental weaknesses, is that I like to hoard all the tasks
because
nobody else can do them as good as me. And it's taken some personal work over the last couple of years to let go and let other people have a bit of this and a bit of that. But you've got to do it. You've got to do it. And being a leader is about knowing what you can offload, but also what you can keep to keep the horse blinkers on, what you need to keep control of in order to keep the direction of the company.
Maintain a bit more momentum and keep that up.
Yeah.